Good morning.
Hi, universe. Good morning. I see you again in 100 Days Live with Sonya. So here I am. Where is my camera then? I cannot see myself. Oh,
That's okay. We
moment.
can see you.
Yes, but I cannot see myself here. What happened? It's dark screen here. Okay. Welcome to 100 Days Live with Sonya, and you see me again. If you haven't known me yet, I'm Sonya from anitasonya.com. So you are in 100 Days Live with Sonya. This is the place for the expert to share their experiences and, of course, their strategies in reaching their goals and whatever they want to in life and business. And yes, you can learn from them, of course. Not only me will learn from them. So this is like your free master class every day actually, and you can ask them everything you want to, and you can choose your favorite speaker, your favorite mentor, your favorite coaches, anything. And I know there are so many of you out of there who spend a lot of money, $100, $1,000, even $1 million on the coaching and training, but then you get nothing from it. So this is the place for you to reach them out. Then please welcome Leanne Cohens. It's a very honor for me to have you here today because yeah, you are a pretty lady one. And then because of the institution or the company or the corporate you lead right now, and also you are the host of Digital Success TV, right? I would like to know more
That's right.
about you, and also you are the marketing lead, like the digital success catalyst. What that does mean? So I would like
Okay.
to explore more, and then I hope that our viewers also explore more about us today, especially about you, of course, because you've been experienced in social media and branding, and then also for TV, especially, right? So, how did you start it?
Well, firstly, thank you for having me. Like I said, I've been watching some of the interviews, and
Mm-hmm.
100 days is a massive commitment. So well done to
Wow,
you for
thank
that,
you.
because that's
Yay, thank
yeah,
you.
that's awesome. So yeah, Leanne Cohens. I run a digital
Mm-hmm.
marketing agency. So we are a
Mm-hmm.
full service digital agency. So we do everything from branding and strategy, social media marketing, websites, SEO, Facebook advertising, which is very interesting at the moment, Google advertising, and lead generation in that regard.
Mm.
The digital success TV and being the digital success catalyst came about because, like you were saying before, I have come across so many business owners that have spent thousands on digital marketing, and
Mm.
they'll meet one person who tells them, "Oh, you need to spend, so many thousands on SEO," without even making sure that their website is optimized, and or on Google Ads, and making sure that the website isn't right. So
Yeah, I also got it a lot. The
yeah,
advertisement and also the offers. That takes a lot of money for SEO. Well, if you are diligent, if you have consistency every day or at least every week, then it doesn't take a lot of money to do that, right? I believe so.
correct. No, it starts with the right strategy. So
Mm.
the whole digital success TV started around educating business owners. And
Mm.
I run a
Okay.
series of courses and workshops, with the whole premise being that they have an understanding of, number one, what they're doing. And so when they do
Mm-hmm.
employ a digital marketing agency, or they bring in a VA or an intern, they know exactly what it is that that person needs to be doing and why they're doing what they're doing. Because it's just so easy to throw money away and not get any return on your investment. And as a business owner, you keep doing that, you're not going to have a business for very long. So
Mm.
yeah, my passion is actually education and training of business owners so
Mm-hmm.
that they understand the digital space. So yeah, and they stop wasting money, really.
Wow. So as I mentioned before in the beginning, right, there are so many coaches also who spend a lot
Mm-hmm.
of money, but they didn't get any results as they want to. There are so many factors of it. Also, I know maybe they don't do the work, maybe the coach is not good or something like that. But you mentioned
But
about the
they
business
don't have a
owners,
strategy.
right?
Yeah,
Mm.
and
And
that's
then
the thing that
is it also for the startup or only for the big companies that you serve?
not well. Obviously, for an agency, there has to be some kind of a turnover to pay for an
Mm-hmm.
agency to do the marketing for you, and that's why I started with the training and the education. So especially for startups, because it's so much easier for them to get an understanding of how their website should be laid out or what they should be doing when they're doing their SEO, or even getting an understanding of social media platforms. And that's actually, it's a series of 12 workshops or courses that I run, starting from strategy, then moving through to branding, having a look at your website, SEO. So it becomes like a complete journey, so that by the time you've finished each of the 12 courses, you have every aspect of your digital footprint aligned. And that's why I always start with strategy, because you've got to make sure that when you're showing up, and that's why, my whole thing is, standing out in this social space and cutting through the noise that is on digital. But making sure that you have a strategy and that when you show up, everything that you do is aligned. So you don't have one particular type of branding on Facebook and then a different one on LinkedIn or on YouTube. It's consistent the whole way through. So even down to the little things, like you commented on the fact that I turned out wearing red. Red's my branding color. So it just helps bring that branding recognition. And that's the biggest thing, is standing out so that people recognize you. When you think how much we're being bombarded with marketing messages and information and ads and people talking at us all the time, it's finding that cut through so that when people see you, they recognize you and they know who you are. So that is my big thing. And that's one of the first steps that I do, with whether it is a startup or whether it is an established business, is actually going through and doing almost a strategy analysis and looking at exactly how they're showing up and what their end goal needs to be, and then how they're going to get there.
For the branding recognition, how long does it take for your clients to do this? Also from planning, actually.
Well, starting with the strategy, it's really sitting down and just having a conversation. It always starts with, and if you talk to any marketer, you hear the same thing. It starts with knowing who your ideal client is, who the person is that you serve, because that is going to determine, number one, which platforms you show up on. I mean, it's pointless you showing up on TikTok if you are a business-to-business person who's dealing with corporate. You should be on LinkedIn. So knowing exactly who your ideal client is the most important thing. And that's where the strategy starts. We look at who your ideal client is. We look at what the end goal is of what you want from your marketing. And then we do a bit of an analysis of exactly how you're showing up on all the different platforms. So, maybe your ideal client is actually hanging out on Instagram. So that's where the focus will actually be. But it's actually having a look at everything online and making sure that everything that you do is aligned. I mean, I've had businesses come to me who, they not only have different cover images and different colors, they even have different names when it comes to the social media platforms. So there'll be one name on Facebook and a different name on Instagram and then a different name on YouTube. And then they wonder why people can't find them. Because people, your ideal clients need to see and hear you 22 times now. With everything that we're doing with social media and everything that we're doing online, they need to see and hear you 22 times before they actually start recognizing who you are. So being consistent and having exactly the same colors and the branding on every digital platform that you're on is so important.
Just like red that you wear.
Exactly.
It suits you a lot. because I love red too, you know, but I'm not consistent about that color on my branding. Only for the meme and the graphics, yes, but not for the daily wears, you know. So
Yeah.
it is very interesting that, yeah, I agree that consistency will help the business owners
Mm.
to put their brands out there. But then how can you suggest them or advise them or lead them to choose the right social media that suits them? For example, like, yeah, we don't know if our clients are in the LinkedIn before we jump in there, or in the Facebook or in the Instagram, right? So should we make the research first before that, or just do the
Yeah.
strategy?
No. Well, you can. I actually, on my website, I have a resources page, which has a
Mm.
whole series of information from checklists and downloads. And I do actually
Mm.
have an infographic that we update every year that gives you the demographics of all the different social media platforms. So what I'll do is I'll actually send you the link to that, because it just gives you a really good snapshot of exactly where your ideal clients are hanging out online, as well as different industries, and where different industries should be showing up and what platforms they should be using as well. So yeah, so I'm happy to give you that link. And
Yeah, please
that
do that in the comments later. The people will really need it, I believe. And so it is from any industry that you accept as your clients, right? Not from the certain industry, or whether they are small business or big business, something like that.
I know as a marketer, we're always saying find your target
Mm-hmm.
market, niche down.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but no, I work with a range of different companies. I work with wholesalers, I work with retailers.
Mm-hmm.
We've done everything from um, furniture manufacturing, jewelry, soft toys, even quite interesting, and that was a very exciting project actually, was a patch that you wear before you have a drink so you don't get a hangover. So that was actually a really interesting client. And yeah, cleaning products and yeah, service-based businesses as well. So we do have quite a wide range of clients that we work with. Um, but again, regardless of what industry you're in and regardless of what
Mm-hmm.
business you're in, the basic tenets of marketing don't change.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly the same. It's all about showing up, finding out who your ideal client is, and letting them know how you serve them, letting them know how you make their life so much easier, and showing up in such a concise way that the minute they see and hear you, their first response is, I need you in my life. I need
Mm-hmm.
to work with you. And that really, and then from there with the marketing is, well, that's basically what marketing is actually just showing up, and showing up in such a way that your ideal client has no choice, but they have to work with you. But that, to get to that stage, does take quite a bit of time.
That's
Um,
true.
yeah, like I'm working with a coach at the moment, and even just going through and working out exactly the right colors that match what they do. From there, looking
Mm-hmm.
at the right fonts to match what they do,
Mm-hmm.
and then mapping out, okay, so these are the platforms that you need to be on now. This is what you need to have on your website. This is what you need to be saying when you show up on social media, and being consistent every time that you show up. So
So
making
it is
sure that you
very
same
detailed,
touch base.
including like the fonts, as you mentioned, right? It influenced the
Oh,
marketing or the strategies that they perform or deliver in the social media, and also
definitely.
on their website. So, for
Yeah.
example, like me, what colors that suits me for all of this? This is
Um,
easy to make myself as an example, right?
well, I would really have to have a look at your business, have a look at
Mm-hmm.
what you stand for, have a
Mm-hmm.
look at the things that are really important to you. Like I can actually use this client as an example. I mean, what they do is they do a lot of spiritual work, but it's also a lot of positive spiritual work. So the colors that we've gone with is like a teal blue and then a dark blue, because blue instills trust. And that's one of the big things. And then also an orange, because orange is, it's optimism and it's hope and it's happiness. So we've gone with those colors because that matches, you know, the offering that she has. But we always, and that the main reason that we do that, and even when we start with social media clients, we will always start with a branding document, because again, it gets back to the people having to see and hear you 22 times. So I always tell my clients, no more than 3 colors, and unless you're in childcare. If you're in childcare and you're working with children, then you can have lots of bright rainbow colors. But for any other industry, no more than 3 colors, no more than 3 fonts. And that has to be consistent every single time. So we actually do up a branding document that has that. We work out their vision statement, their mission statement, because from that is where a lot of their messaging comes from. So, you know, like if you follow me online, quite often I'll talk about, you know, helping you lose the marketing overwhelm, or helping you restart, recharge, and revive your marketing. And those are 2 catchphrases that I use all the time. So the minute you start talking about losing the marketing overwhelm, there is that almost recognition of, oh, hang on, I've heard that before. And we do exactly the same with our clients, so that they have certain catchphrases and certain taglines that every time they show up, they start becoming recognized for that. So that's where it starts. And that also makes it so much easier when you show up to start creating your content and doing your social media, because you don't have to think so much. You know that you're going to have 3 catchphrases. You know that you're going to have 1 of 3 fonts. And you know that you're only going to have these particular colors. So it just makes things a lot easier in that regard.
Yeah, just like my tagging line, it is very easy, but yeah, it is based on my own experience, right? Changing your pain into gains, and then also I use red and gold in my branding, because red is like a motivation color also. When you see red, then you will be fresh automatically, no matter what your background is, no matter what challenges you have, or no matter you know, your adversities you have, then red always can lift you up, something like that. That's why I choose red also. And then also mixed with the gold, because gold is at the end is like the outcomes, the purpose that we gain also. Yes, gold is like money, so it is also the prosperity, the happiness and wealth. Yes, something like that. So I combine both of the colors. But I agree about the colors, because yeah, sometimes I see like the finance coaches or finance trainers, but they have the, gloomy color. So when I see them, it's like, are they really wealthy? Are they really successful? Maybe they struggle about finance themselves, so that they become the finance coach, something like that. So yeah, I agree that the colors also influence our branding. But how far or how many percent the colors influence the branding, besides of the fonts and of course the consistency, and then also the promotion itself?
Well, it is so important, because the colors, we instinctively have an emotional reaction. And, you know, as much as we'd love to be very working with numbers and cut and dried, really as a business owner, your whole idea is to create an emotion in your client. Like I said, it's getting them to the point where they go, we have to work with you. You know, you are going to fix something for us. We need you in our life. That's an emotional reaction. So making sure that you've got the right branding colors behind it, that gives that perception. And it's quite interesting. Like I often say that perception is like the 5th P in marketing. And especially on social media and with everything that we're doing online, people's perceptions, it's instant. It's like when they talk about body language, you meet someone for the first time, you instantly get a feeling about them. It's the same with your website. You literally have 3 seconds or not even sometimes, for people to get to your website and decide whether they're going to stay or not. So that's, whether they stay and they read what you have to say, they watch a video that you've got, or they bounce off and they go to your competitor. So it's having that almost instant recognition and that instant connection. So making sure that, like you say, with the gloomy colors, making sure that you've got the right colors that align with what it is that you do. That's where the importance comes in. And then making sure that it's backed up with the language that you use and the messages that you put out there, because the words that you use are so powerful. So, but again, it gets back to having that lockdown so that
Yes.
every time you show up, these are the words that I'm going to use, these are the colors, this is what I'm going to say, and just rephrasing it accordingly.
So, and then when they come to you, what are their problems exactly in the very beginning that they face, so that they think that marketing is very difficult, they cannot get the target of selling or something like that? And then because there are so many people think that this is an instant work, right? To go out there and then get the clients directly. Well, we need to do the branding first, actually.
Correct. And that's the thing. I mean, there's so many people out there that they do a 6-week course and all of a sudden they're digital marketers. And I'm probably showing my age a little bit here, but, I did marketing before the internet was a big thing. It was old school style, and that's where it all started, with the messaging and the branding. But just because we are now online and we've got all these different social media platforms doesn't mean that changes. In actual fact, we've got to be a lot more consistent because of that. So knowing who your ideal client is, because that's going to determine where you show up, is so important. But one of the biggest issues I find with any business is getting clients, getting the sales, getting the money happening. I mean, really, at the end of the day, everybody goes into business because they have this idea in their head of, firstly, wanting to help people, but also wanting to have a lifestyle and spend time with their children and with their families. Like, everybody has this dream of making lots of money and then living the life that they dream of. So, when you're looking at marketing, it's like, okay, so to do that, I need more clients and I need more sales. So to get more sales, how do I make that happen? So my job as a marketer is to work out exactly where their clients are showing up online, work out exactly what it is that client needs or needs to hear, and then putting my client in front of their ideal client. So whether that's on Google, through Google My Business or Google Advertising, or even just SEO optimization, or whether it's through social media. That's what my job is as a marketer. But as I said in the beginning, for me, education is such a big thing too. So making sure that these business owners understand why they're showing up on a particular platform, or why when they take pictures, they need to name the images a certain way. Because it's just an extra factor that helps them show up on Google. So when we're doing the SEO or the optimization for their website, the images that they have on their website are also telling Google exactly what it is that Google's looking for, or what the ideal client is looking for. So
is it a must for the business people to have a website? Because sometimes the image website is expensive, for the startup, they may not be able to afford it.
Okay, my response to that is you cannot afford not to. You do not own Facebook. Now, I'm a marketer. I run ads continually, but I have fights with Facebook every other day. I mean, I'm a Facebook marketing partner, but I still have fights with Facebook every other day, where they'll decide that they don't like a particular post, or they've decided that I've been too active and I have to go in and reset my password. And during the US elections, that actually happened quite a lot. It was almost like every week I was having to go in and redo my password. But you don't own Facebook. You're at their mercy. The minute they change the rules, you could lose everything. And how often do you hear of Instagram influencers who've built up hundreds of thousands of followers and their account's been shut down? And it's exactly the same with Google. Google changes their algorithms, everything tanks. So your website is the only thing that you own. That's your one piece of intellectual property. That's your footprint that you own on the internet. So as a business owner, it doesn't have to be flash. You don't have to spend 10,000, but you do have to have some kind of a presence. The other thing that is so important, especially for startups, is making sure that you have a Google My Business page. So a Google My Business page has sort of been a culmination over the last 5 years or so of what used to be Google Plus and Maps and all of these different Google entities suddenly coming together. And especially, with the pandemic and people being in lockdown, Google is really focused on the Google My Business section. And depending on your industry, you can actually have, I've got a client who's a carpet cleaner and is constantly, he's getting clients constantly and talking to his clients through Google via his Google My Business page. So with the two things, as a startup, as a business, yes, you definitely need a website because you cannot afford to be reliant on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or LinkedIn to run your business. So you do need a website. And the second thing is to make sure that you do have your Google My Business page set up and have that
Yeah, I
optimized.
didn't know that Google Plus is still a thing because I heard
No.
that but
Yeah, no,
and
it's
also
been changed.
yeah, it's been changed. And also like for the Google list, like the Google business is, what I understand is only for locals. I don't know if it is also for international market for the reach out.
You can actually select. It has been set up originally for local businesses, yes, but if you're a coach, you still need to be on there, and you can actually have it set up that yes, you're offering a service, but you don't have people coming to your location. So there's different ways that you can set up your Google My Business page, but it just helps build your authority and just helps you show up in a much stronger way. So,
And what is it behind the marketing? Why you choose this field, also being a host in Digital Success TV then?
how did I get into marketing? Well, funnily enough, I was a bit of a progression. I was actually a beauty therapist. I had my first salon at 21 here on the Gold Coast. And as much as I loved it, I loved the business side more so than being a psychologist to women. So I went and got my business degree, focused on marketing. By that stage, I finished my degree while I was living overseas in South Africa, and had built up with my ex-husband a fairly large business. We had 8 retail stores and 25 staff and a distribution center, and found that I loved the marketing side. And when I was doing my business degree, I focused more on the marketing side. So when I came home to Australia in 2009, that's where I focused. So I was very lucky. I've worked for an international company when I came home, and it was very exciting because it was a global company, but they were coming into the Australian market, and my whole role was literally taking the American way of doing things and rewording and changing the branding in such a way that it resonated with Australians. So yeah, that was, I would probably have to say, not that I've had very many jobs because I've always pretty much had my own business, but that was probably my most favorite job ever. Just getting to work with the branding and everything in that regard. And and then I got the opportunity to start my own business, and here I am. So I literally went from being just having the agency, Marketing Leap, which is servicing clients and doing all the work for them, to realizing, like you said earlier, there are so many startups that still need to understand how this works, and that's where the digital success. I have a digital success academy and a series of courses and workshops now for business owners to understand why they're doing what they do, and why they need to do certain things online, like have a website. Yes, you need to have a website, and having your Google My Business page set up, but and making sure that when you show up, you do start with a strategy, you do have the right branding. So it becomes more education and training.
Yeah, I agree, and it is a real success story for you because you built your business in 2009. Well, actually, I experienced that time was the crisis, and I remember exactly at that time that my Australian dollar saving sounds like nothing, compared with the US dollar, because at that time of the crisis, Australian dollar was very low here, while US dollar was very high, and I tell in the live streaming like this that at that time, yeah, I had to pay the factories in US dollar, right, for the timber export at that time. So this is a real great story from you, that even in the crisis that you build your own business, right? So yeah, this is like a kind of motivation for everyone out there, that no matter what the condition is, no matter how your government is, or no matter what the business condition, and you can always start something, right? I get the
Exactly.
message. I get the
But I mean,
message.
look at what you're doing with your
Mm,
100 days. I mean, you have people from all over the world, and
mm,
as much as this pandemic has been so hard on so many people, it's also
mm.
opened up so many opportunities for, because we can do things like this now. I mean, I
I
remember when
agree. I
Zoom
agree.
Zoom first came out, and I actually did, it was about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and did a
Mm-hmm,
post
mm-hmm,
about Zoom and how great it was, and it was so much better than Skype. And I
mm-hmm.
really wish I'd bought shares.
It was a bit
Because,
late here, so like WhatsApp,
yeah, whereas
always come
now
late here. Uh,
everybody uses Zoom. Everybody uses Zoom, StreamYard. Getting on
mm,
camera now is not such a big deal for people, because
mhm.
of the way the world has gone. It's just opened up.
Yeah, I
It's,
agree.
yeah.
That's true. And also I use StreamYard also because this is like their sponsor. They give me 1 year free pro plan. You can imagine that. Then they know that I am on mobile all the time, then it is difficult to bring laptop everywhere. That's why mobile phone is like a kind of lifestyle for me, and StreamYard supported me with that because
Mm.
I asked also when will it be available on mobile. It will be at that time there was some skeptical opinions also. When you are on mobile, will be difficult to control everything, right, as a host or something like that. But then I proved it didn't happen that way, because it is pretty easy by with StreamYard, and you can look
Yeah.
professional in front of camera without expensive devices. That's why. And then I'm making my class also for the high performance live streaming, because the point of a high performer is you have to perform in any condition, right? To share your values out there so that the people can reach you out. Something
Exactly.
like that, yeah.
Mm.
And then in the marketing world today, when most of the business are shut down, and then how do you encourage the people to start their marketing again, or to find the right way to market their products or programs?
Well, with everything being shut down, people suddenly realized that they needed to be online. You
Mm,
have to have, whether you like it or not, you have to have an online presence now. The
mm-hmm,
first thing, I mean, when you think about it, Google is no longer a name, it's a doing word. We Google things now. And that's what a lot of business owners and even startups need to realize is, with everything shut down, we are now online. And the minute you go online, your market, I mean, obviously depending on the product, but for 90% of people online, the minute you go online, your market suddenly becomes global. You're no longer just dealing just with your location. You can actually go global. And
yes, I agree.
and it's
Especially when you
exciting.
are in lockdown, yes. But
Yeah.
I know that Australia is very free now compared with our country to travel. How is the
Oh yeah, we
condition there then?
we are so lucky. We really are. And again, I mean, I live on the Gold Coast, which is even better. Melbourne has had a bit of a rough time with lockdowns. I've got a couple of friends in Melbourne who've, it's been quite difficult. But on the whole, compared to the friends that I know that are in the UK and around the world, we've had it really easy. We had on the Gold Coast, we had 3 months of lockdown, which really didn't impact a huge amount. But for me, it just made it easier for me to help people show up online. But and I think that's probably been the great thing out of this pandemic is just doing that switch, that mindset shift. That okay, now I do have to show
True.
up online, and even
Yeah.
with what you're doing with these live streams, showing up in front of camera because people can see and hear you, and they're going to decide instantly whether they want to continue listening to you talk, whether they want to work with you. It just makes that connection so much stronger as well.
Yep. I
So
agree, but they have no choice because I have the great lineup, they are the masters, the expertise in their own fields. That's why I didn't make any team for this because all of the expert can talk their own values, in their own passion that the people will be attracted to them. I don't make the certain team like how to be successful in business or how to be mindful or something like that. No, but I ask them to talk about their expertise because there are so many people out there who cannot find the right person to help them out. Because we need
exactly.
someone also as the accountable someone in our life and in our business, or we feel stuck most of the time if we cannot find the way out because we cannot reach someone or we are too scared to reach out someone or we do so many things, right?
Exactly. And again, 9 times out of 10, when you do reach out to people, there is that value exchange. So, if I do
Thank
pay you,
you.
am I going to get value for
Bing,
what I'm
bing,
doing?
bing. Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
So yeah, doing something like this where you can actually listen to people talk and decide, you know what? Yeah, I think your knowledge is worth investing in is very important. But for me, I see my role as actually enabling people to get into that situation, enabling people so that they can show up online, so that they can let everybody know what it is that they do, so that their clients can see them and go, you know what, I really do need to work with you because, I think you're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you
So,
so much. So this is another vacancy. No, opportunity for me. And Ian, may I ask you something? This is a bit personal though. When you
okay.
face your clients, right? They are not only in Australia and they have difficulties, like me, for example, with the time zone, right? And then how do you adapt with that? Because in every country, the busy hours for the live streaming or for the social media presence are different. And how do you uh, lead them? I mean, yeah, just lead them or train them or get them the right time or to find the right time to show in the social media.
It really just depends on where you are in the world. But
Mm-hmm.
on top of that, it's making sure that, like for example, this live stream, I will actually have my team take screenshots, and over the next week or so, this live stream and the link will actually go out to my database via email. It will actually go up in my group. And so even though we're doing this now at this time, like it's 11:30 in the morning here in Queensland, I will still use this and leverage this and use it for the next week, putting it out on all the other social
Wow,
media
thank you.
platforms to let people know that we've had this conversation. So for
Thank you.
business owners, no worries, but for business
I,
owners, it's a case of
mm-hmm,
when you do a live stream, you don't just
mm-hmm,
do a live stream and leave it and hope that people find you. If you do a live
yes.
stream, what we actually do with a lot of our clients is that we will actually download that file from Facebook,
Mm-hmm,
edit it,
mm-hmm,
put it up into YouTube. It will also go into LinkedIn. Whenever I do
mm-hmm,
interviews or live streams, that actually goes, a thumbnail will go into my email and it goes out to my database. So we're constantly letting people know that, hey, there's a
mm-hmm,
video out there that you really need to watch. So I
mm-hmm.
think more so for a lot of coaches and entrepreneurs and business owners, if you're going to do a live stream, don't just show up and do a live stream and hope that people are going to find you. You've
Yeah, I
got to
agree.
tell people, you've got to let them know that, you know what, I've just spent 45 minutes doing this incredible interview. You really need to go and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a link.
Yes,
So
I do. And then,
yeah.
wow, it is a very deep message from you, and I hope all of the speakers do this to support me also. This is a great message from you. And then, yeah, I agree with that. This is not only about today, but any people who need us can find us anytime in the future also. And maybe
Yeah,
this is not the right time for them this time. Oh, I have no money to reach you out. Oh, I have no time to reach you out. But then when they face the problem that they need us, they will contact us, right? That's what I mean.
exactly. And that's why having that consistency. So
Mm-hmm,
we get back to having the website. It's not just
mm-hmm,
having the website, and you can't run a business by just showing up on
mm-hmm,
Facebook because you don't own
mm-hmm.
Facebook. It's not your platform. In
Yeah,
actual
we
fact,
don't know. Facebook will be popular also for how long, right? Just like another social media like Periscope and
exactly.
Twitter, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree for that. And yeah, oh my God, the time runs so fast. Well, there
Mhm.
are so many things I would like to discuss with you here because, yeah, this is where the first time also we talk exactly about how branding is, how the marketing is from
Yeah.
the experts like you. And then, do you have any message for our viewers here?
I think my message is really go when it comes to showing up online, make sure that number
Mm-hmm,
one, everything that you have up online is consistent. Make sure
mm-hmm.
that if they go to your
Consistent.
website and they go to your Facebook page, they can see that it's the same person or the same
Mm-hmm,
company. Then making sure that, yeah, and you do that for every platform. So if you're on YouTube, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Instagram, TikTok, making sure that when they go to these different platforms, they can see that it's exactly the same company or exactly the same person. So that's the first thing. The second
mm-hmm.
thing is knowing exactly who your ideal client is, because the only thing that we have a limit to is our time. So you don't want to be spending time on Instagram if your ideal client is on LinkedIn. So
Yeah.
knowing who your ideal client is so important, and knowing where they're hanging out online is really important. So, and as we discussed, I'll put that link in um, so that people can use that just to see exactly where their ideal clients are hanging out online. So they can see what it is that they need to be doing and where they need to be showing up, because then that again saves you time. So everything that we do in the agency and I do with my training is actually teaching business owners and entrepreneurs how to work smarter, how to work to a strategy and work to a plan so that you save time. So then you can go and do things. Yeah, for example, I'm a single mom of teenage boys, and
Mm-hmm.
over the last 8 years, both my boys have played representative basketball and representative soccer. So I've had to streamline what I do to be able to
Mm-hmm.
be there for them and to travel all around the state while they play their games and do their thing. So making the most of the time that we have is really important. And as an
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur and a business owner, you didn't start this to become a workaholic. You started this because you had a dream of the lifestyle that you wanted. So it's time to start working smarter, working to a plan, making sure that
Mm-hmm.
you've got a strategy, making sure that you're showing up in the right place where your ideal client is so that you're not wasting time.
I would like to ask one more point on it actually. May I?
Yeah, of course.
Always look beautiful like Leanne Cohens in front of the camera. Sometimes
I'll have to thank my mother
I
for
know
that
that
one.
we want to be vulnerable. I know that we want to be vulnerable in any condition to go live streaming, but please at least wash your face sometimes. It's a joke actually, but then I hope that the people get my message, because sometimes it is okay to be sad, it is okay to be poor, it is okay to be weak, but then we can show the people that we have our own will to change,
Yes.
to be a better person, to reach our goals no matter what. So that's why always look beautiful like Leanne hands in front of the camera. Yes, I really thank you for
No, I thank you for this
for your
opportunity. I love
messages.
what you're doing. It's,
Thank you,
and
thank you. I
like I
feel
said,
honored that
100
you are
days is
here today. Yeah,
yeah, massive
it's a
commitment.
long day, but look at us. It is already 1 month here. So yeah, time goes very fast, and I'm very happy that the experts share what they have here. They are very vulnerable also to tell their experiences, even their fears. You can imagine that it is
Yeah.
not easy for us to tell our fears as an expert in front of the camera for other people, because sometimes we are afraid of the judgment, right? We are afraid of our image. So
But not only
again,
that, we
mm-hmm,
became experts because we've
mm-hmm,
made the mistakes.
mm-hmm, I agree.
You
Just
know,
like me,
yeah,
just like
we've
you.
made the mistakes. We've done things the hard way. We've messed up, and you learn from
Mm-hmm.
it. And that's what makes it so
Mm-hmm.
exciting to be able to teach other people. You know what? Don't make
Mm-hmm.
these mistakes because I've done them. This is what you need
Mm-hmm.
to do.
Yeah,
So
reach out some helps. Contact the specialist or the experts to
yeah,
help you also. And yeah, thank you so much for today once more. And I hope that
pleasure.
you can join us also in another program that I'm going to create. And yes,
Yeah,
please do not forget to put the links in the comments when we've done with this today, when we finish the
yeah. No,
live
I will do.
streaming.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Perfect.
And
Thanks for
I'll
having
see you
me.
all. And again, thank you for all of the sponsors also, like today, also from Cat Cohen. So .com.au.plan. Catcoins at .com.au.plan. So your marketing should make you money, and that's yours. This is her tagline, and I'm very happy. She will be also our speaker for the other schedule. And again, thank you very much for joining 100 Days Live with Sonya, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.